Are you setting your week up for success? Today on the Landlord Coach Daily Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Landlord Coach Daily Show. My name is Mark Dolfini, your host and Landlord Coach. It's really good to see you. So today we're going to be talking about, are you setting your week up for success? First of all, how are you guys? Did you have a good weekend? I had a really awesome weekend. I got some ink. I got my first ink that you can see there. My bride had been pestering me for quite a while, and I was like, I don't know. Of course, she's been working on me for the last 25 years that we've been together, that she would say. But no, we've been together. Me and my bride have been married for just over 7 years. We've been together a little over 10. And so I'm a little excited. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, that hurt a lot. Never had a tattoo before, and now I've got one. And yeah, so pretty cool. But anyway, so I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. But we're going to be talking about, are you setting your week up for success? And how do you do that? And I posted this as something that I actually posted in the Landlord VIP Lounge today. If you're interested and you'd like to join us there, join the discussion, join the group right now. There's not a ton of people in there just yet, but we just literally launched it last week. So if that's something that you would be interested in, you can go ahead and check that out. I put that link in the show notes there. But are you setting your week up for success? And it's really interesting, some of the answers that I got. That one of the answers in there was really, really cool, because it had absolutely very little to do with business. In fact, this is really what I've started hearing, that Sunday is actually the first day of the week, which I think that is true, because it really sets you up if you honor the Sunday the way it's supposed to be. I know some people honor the Sabbath and don't literally do anything. I think that's pretty cool. But we really should have a day where we're cooling off, where we're not working every single day. We're not, focusing on this real estate gig or this side hustle, whatever it is that you're doing. But, are you setting your week up for success? So if you're spending that time, doing, thanks, Rob Ellinger, appreciate that. If you are spending your time cooling off on the weekends, and then when you get back into the forge, that's how steel is made, right? So, that's what tempers steel. So when you're back in on Monday, what is it you're doing to set your week up for success? So, one of my friends and this is a very similar path to what I do, and, get up and exercise and pray and do a Bible study. And maybe that's how you do it. That's how I do it. Maybe some other people have a different approach, but when you're getting your mindset, your mind is right, getting ready for the workday and preparing for the workday, let's skip ahead and go into the workday here a little bit, right? So as you're in your workday now, how are you keeping all of that stuff segmented? How are you keeping all that stuff? For some of you have not just a job, but you've got a home life. You've got maybe several different businesses that you're either trying to start or trying to get up and running. And how are you organizing your time during that day, right? That's I think a really, really important thing to consider when you're just starting out your workday. And this is something that I do. So I recognize that there's businesses that have there's all sorts of different businesses that are out there, right? In terms of whatever it is. I know there's people who watch this show that have no interest in real estate whatsoever, and many people who do have interest in real estate, but they're really, really focused on just a couple of areas of their business. Now, this is just my truth. I'm breaking this down very, very at the very basic level, but I think every business has to have, at a minimum, these 4 functions. So I believe every business has to have some sort of marketing function. It has to have some way that it's bringing in leads. It has to have some way that's bringing in new customers, because you might have the best product or service out there, but if no one knows about it, then no one's going to buy. No one's ever going to enter the buying cycle. So, a marketing piece is somewhat important. Now, you might be really fortunate where you're in an industry that just naturally, where just because you put your sign up, people will come to you. But are you really going to be that competitive? I would suggest that just about every business out there is going to need some sort of marketing arm, right? there also has to be some sort of sales arm. Now, if you think that marketing and sales are the same thing, I would invite you to correct yourself, because I used to say, oh, people would go, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm in sales and marketing. I'm like, then you don't know enough about either one, because sales and marketing are they're two different birds. Again, this is my truth. I'm just saying marketing is really about the leads. The sales is the closers, because people who are great at marketing may not necessarily be great closers. And because and again, they're two different skill sets, in my opinion. And I think that those are best when they're treated as two separate functions. So you've got your marketing arm, your sales arm, and then you've got your fulfillment. You've got whatever the business does, whatever it does operationally, whatever it does in terms of fulfillment. If it's a product, how do you deliver that product to the customers? How is all that done? If it's a service, how is that service being delivered? How's that service being handled? Right. So that's the operational function of the business. And then you've got the report, you've got the accounting, right? If you don't have accounting, you don't have a business. That's something I heard Marcos Lemonis of the Profit show. He said that a long time ago, and is so spot on. If you don't have accounting, you don't have a business. And those four key areas are absolutely critical to any running, especially of a small business, but of any business, right? So you got the marketing arm, sales arm, the operational or fulfillment piece, and then you've got the accounting. So those four things are critically important. So why I'm bringing that up now is because it's really, really important that you establish metrics for each one of those four functions. And I'm not going to get into the metrics of that stuff now, but I think when you start to look at each one of those individual components of, let's say you have 5 or 6 different businesses, and you can start looking at the metrics for each one of those activities inside that business. So of each business, you've got your one business here, and you've got those 4 activities that go on. All you need to be doing is just tracking the metrics for your marketing. Then you're tracking the metrics for your sales, your closing percentages, your cost of acquisition, whatever it is, right? And then you're looking at your fulfillment or your operations functions, and you're going to have metrics that are involved in that. In terms of your rental operation, it's, days vacants would be a perfect example. Days of maintenance orders or work orders outstanding, like what's the work order percentage that you have outstanding based on the number of days, right? That could be an average. So that would be an operational function that you would look at in terms of an important metric. And then you're going to look at the accounting function, things like current ratio or quick ratio, which, current ratio is your current assets divided by your current liabilities, and that should be ideally over 1, right? Meaning you have more current assets than current liabilities. Or even something like a quick ratio, which is your cash divided by your current liabilities. So these are the sorts of things that are really, really important metrics that you look at, whether it's a marketing function, a sales function, an operational function, or an accounting function. All of that stuff will give you the health of your business. And if your business is not healthy, you're going to start to see trends, trends going down. If your business is getting healthier, then it could be trends coming up, right? Your net cash balances, things like that would be another thing in terms of your overall health of your business. So these are all things that I would track, and that would be all the things that I would look at in the beginning of the week. Why would I look at the beginning of the week? Because you can adjust this stuff based on last week's numbers. You can look at this stuff and say, well, my marketing numbers are down a little bit. What could I adjust this week? What could I do this week that's going to get me that's going to move that notch up another percent, 1/10 of 1%, or maybe a full percent. What's going to get me better to where I want to take this ship, where I want to take this vessel, that's in alignment with my vision, right? So if you're thinking in the vision infrastructure process method, which I taught in the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, it's interesting because I've had several people reach out to me that have absolutely no interest in real estate. They've read this book recently, and they're like, wow, some of this stuff actually hit me like a brick, like a brick in the face. And, I don't know why I was making it so difficult on myself. Well, again, it doesn't need to be that way. It's about putting the appropriate systems in place and then putting the appropriate metrics in place based on the activity that you want. And guess what? If you don't get the results you want, that's not failure. There is no failure. It's just results. If you don't get the results you want, guess what? There's only one thing you have to change. You change the activity. That's the only thing that you have to do. You change the activity that's based on that thing you're trying to accomplish, right? And that's basically it. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. I mean, you can make it more complicated, I suppose, but I don't think there's any reason to. So So that's it. So, are you setting your week up for success? And this is something that I have learned over time. What the best thing that I can do on my Mondays is making sure that I'm, first and foremost, well rested. I had an amazing weekend with my bride, and, we spent it in St. Louis. In fact, I'll be going back to St. Louis at the end of this week for the mastermind that I belong to. I run and host a mastermind, but I also belong to a mastermind that helps hold me accountable as a coach, because I believe we should all have a coach in some way just to help keep us accountable and make sure that we're checking our six and make sure that we're making sure that we're that there's if there's any blind spots that come up that we're not familiar with, or just sometimes it meet and break bread with some just really cool people. So that's what the mastermind does for me. So anyway, that's all I have for today. So really quick, I'm going to plug this really, really fast again. If you are interested in connecting with a like-minded group of folks, you can submit your application to join the Landlord VIP Lounge. Just go over there on Facebook and you can check that out. Like I said, the link is in the show notes. You can check that out. But also, if you are interested in getting a copy of the Time Wealthy Investor for free, head over to landlordcoach.com/videos. And all I ask you to do is cover shipping there. And that's all I have for today, everybody. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. And please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.